With over 8 years of reselling experience, going from a hobbyist reseller all the way to a full-time reseller who now runs her own business and has employees who helps her and works out of a 2,000 square foot warehouse. I have learned a lot about reselling over the years, and I realized that it is not as complicated as I originally thought that it was. Finding great items, getting those items to sell quickly, and making a lot of money in reselling does not have to be that hard. In today's video, I have boiled it down to just 3 very simple things that ensure that my reselling business is successful. Number one, it all starts with sourcing. You've got to pick up great items. I have coached thousands of resellers, whether it is here on YouTube, in person, or in my mentorship group. Most of the time, resellers have all of the tools they need, all of the skills they need to be successful, but the reason that they aren't is because they are picking up crap items. So what makes an item great? An item that is great in my eyes is one that is desirable, there's a demand for it, and it's going to sell quickly. I get a lot of questions from people asking, how do you know what is in demand? There are many different ways that you can figure out what are desirable items, some of which I will pop up here on the screen. But out of all of these, the best one that you can possibly do is just your own research. Most platforms have data that you can study that show you what items have sold recently, and all you need to do is figure out what those items are and how consistently they sell, because that's going to tell you the demand and also the sell-through rate, how quickly they're going to sell. This can be really easy to do on a site like eBay, where they give you all the numbers. You can filter to sold comps and pretty much figure out the ratio of actives to sold. But it becomes a lot harder on platforms like Poshmark, where they don't really give you the data up front. And I do not want to sit and count every single listing that I see on my search page on Poshmark, which is why I was really excited when I was introduced to Poshwatch. This is going to be a game changer for me. And I'm guessing it'll be a game changer for you if you are someone whose primary platform is Poshmark.
Poshwatch is a brand new reselling tool that makes selling on Poshmark easy. This tool has a ton of things that you can use while you are selling on Poshmark to make your life easier. One of the things they have is a closet sharing tool, offers to likers, ways to analyze your listings, sharing schedules, and my favorite, which are some analytics. You can start by using their product research tool. So if you are interested in how well a specific brand is doing, a specific style, or even a specific category or color, I'm just going to search barn coats right now. This will pull all of the data from Poshmark, give you average times to sell, average sale price, the median, the price range, and then recently sold listings. Some other data that I really love seeing is a breakdown of which colors, sizes, category features, all the great things are selling to make it easier to know which factors you should look for. They also have a listing analyzer where you can use their extension to analyze your own listings and keep yourself in check of some things that you might want to include in your listing, increasing the likelihood of a sale. As I mentioned, they also have a tool for sharing your closet and doing other things like sending out offers. Similarly to the listing analyzer, they also have a listing rank checker where you can check on how your listings are doing, and also a fee calculator if you wanted to quickly determine while you are outsourcing how much you are going to make in a net profit. And another one of my favorite features, and probably one I'll be using the most, are their charts. So they've got information on top brands, top sellers, and top categories. What I love about this is you can drill down into some of these categories. Let's say it's shoes, and you can take a look at what is selling. And again, some of those factors and drop downs to really narrow in on what styles are selling. They have information pulled from Poshmark sold data about the 100 best-selling brands. I really love that you can choose not to show the luxury brands and just see your everyday brands that are selling well. Plus, they include the categories that they are selling the best in. In addition to this, they have a ton of guides to help newer sellers be successful on Poshmark.
Honestly, my mind is blown after years of being frustrated with the platform and not being able to get the data that I need. This makes it so much easier. Not only that, but I feel like it's great information for all platforms. If I know what's trending on one, more than likely it's also trending on the other platforms. Now I have tons of data at my fingertips on all platforms that I sell on. The more data that you have on an item, the better, because it's going to help you to understand, is it desirable? Does it fit your business model? And is it going to sell quickly? So like I said, it all starts with what you source. Use the data that you have, make smart decisions when you are purchasing items, and only pick up the stuff that is going to actually sell. Otherwise, it's not worth listing. Number 2 is listing competitively. Now, a lot goes into listing. You've got your pictures, you've got your titles, you've got your drop downs, you've got your description, you've got your pricing, you've got your shipping information, and you've also got your return information. But I feel like this concept could just be boiled down to listing competitively. Is every aspect of your listing competitive? Does it make your buyers want to purchase your item, or does it make them want to go with your competitor? With a desirable item already, you're off to a great start. You can then seal those sales in by having a competitive listing, being ahead of the competition, and offering your buyer something that everyone else isn't. Those could be things like great pictures, a title with other keywords that no one is using, filling out as many dropdowns as possible so that eBay can correctly categorize and also catalog your item in their search engine and get those filtered to the right buyer for your item. Great item plus competitive listing results in a sale. Part of your listing is also pricing. So you want to make sure that you are very accurate within market or slightly below it in order to get that desirable item to sell. Because even though you might have an item with a great sell-through rate, if you're priced too high, no one is going to purchase it. Once you've got those first 2 basics down, number 3 is super easy, and that is to put systems in place to scale up easily. Scaling up and having systems in place comes down to checks and balances. Do you have a place to check yourself to make sure that what you're doing is effective? And then if it is or isn't effective, how do we balance out the scales? So for instance, one of the checks that I have for myself is that I like to time myself and my crew every now and then to make sure that we are meeting our timing. I also like to look at every single process that we have and start eliminating things that are unnecessary to become faster in those areas. Those checks happen at least quarterly, but sometimes more often. You pretty much need to have a check for every single aspect of your business, because if you're not analyzing it, how do you know that it can't be better? And how do you know that you're not inefficient in some areas? Having checks for yourself in every aspect of your business is extremely important. I'll pop up some aspects of reselling businesses here on the screen that you might want to incorporate checks on in your own business. It's not just enough to have checks though. Once you check yourself and realize that there's a problem, how do we balance everything out? For example, if our goal is to spend less time working in our reselling business while making the same amount of money, but at the same time we know that we are spending way too much time listing, how do we balance that out? What are some of the things that you can look into and some dials that you can change to make yourself more efficient in that area so that you're spending less time? How do you balance it out when you are getting a ton of returns? What does that process look like for you? And what happens if the sourcing route that you are used to going to every single week for the last year stops being productive for you? What do you do in those situations? This is where those checks and balances come in. Put processes in place for your business that include checks and balances so that it makes scaling up easy once you figured out the basics. If you can figure out those 3 things I have boiled it down to today, I really think that you can ensure reselling success. As a recap, today we talked about it starting with sourcing. You've got to pick up great items. Listing competitively in every area of your listing, including your pricing. What do you have to offer that your competition is not offering? And number 3, make scaling up easy by having systems in place that include checks and balances for yourself. All right, you guys, so that is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed some of the core aspects of reselling that can ensure success. Let me know down below in the comments, what is the main area of your business that makes or breaks it for you? And don't forget, if you're interested in checking out Poshwatch, the information will be down below in the description box. I think it is an excellent tool for analytics on Poshmark, and I can't wait to see where this company evolves this product to. If you're not already and you would like to be, consider subscribing down below. Make sure to hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every single time I post new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.